So let's go back to the misunderstanding point. You've already said one of the ways of avoiding misunderstandings is having proper, clear, written contracts. And really, in many cases, that does mean a contract written by a lawyer, doesn't it?
That is.
Simple case, two people can sit down and write a contract.
Yeah.
But if it's a high-value item or if it's complicated, then lawyers have a way of looking at contracts and making sure that all of the key things are covered, which individuals tend not to do. They can miss out great important parts.
That is totally correct. Yeah.
If you are going to have a contract, already said it must be in writing, but I think, in my experience anyway, is disputes can also arise partway through a contract. So you say, now I'm going to build 20 houses on this plot of land, and then later on it's agreed, well actually we'll only build 19, but no one writes that down. And every time you change the contract, there ought to be some sort of note of it that has been agreed by the two parties.
Of course, of course.
Okay, how do we avoid bad faith? That's more difficult, isn't it?
Yeah. It is very difficult to avoid that, but what we can do is to prepare a contract protecting the rights that they have in the case of a bad faith.
Yes.
Okay. In that way, it is good that you have the help of a professional, of a lawyer, in order to prepare the contract, in order to have your rights protected if that bad faith has happened.
Because a well-written contract will make it more difficult to act in bad faith.
That is.
And another thing, certainly in my experience, that happens again and again, is that bad faith arises because you feel distant from somebody. It's very hard to have bad faith with your friend. And so if you have regular contact between the two people, even if one person is in New York and the other one is in Marbella, just to speak on the telephone every week, every month, just to make sure that things are going okay, will I think help avoid these bad faith situations arising.
Yeah, it is advisable to have to continue a relation with the other part that you are negotiating, of course.
So that person is a human being and not just some sort of vague entity at the other side of the world.
That is.
Okay, crime, fraud, people going into deals intending to be criminal. That's pretty rare, but it does happen. How do we avoid that?
To avoid that, the first thing is that we must know who is the other part in a business.
Deal with good people.
That is. It is that we must do before starting a relation, before signing any contract. We must know who is on the other side. Okay.
And when you're dealing internationally, that sometimes isn't simple. Because you come to Spain, for example, let's say you're an investor from the Middle East, you come to Spain, you sign a real estate deal, or you want to sign a real estate deal, and you meet this constructor in Spain who seems fantastic, he knows what he's doing, but you don't know him, you have no contacts with him. This is an area, isn't it, where your lawyer should be able to help and say, we can do some due diligence on these people.
Of course. It is necessary to do the proper due diligence about the contract, about who is on the other side. It is necessary to know who is the part in order to know where we are, and where we will be.
And I have said, sometimes in my experience, it's much simpler than that. You go to see your lawyer and you say, I'm thinking of doing a deal with so-and-so to be a constructor on a project, and the lawyer will say, are you crazy? This man is a crook.
It happens.
And so the due diligence sometimes isn't very much. It's just going to somebody who knows the area where you're working and who maybe can help point out people you shouldn't be dealing with.
That is correct.